This lesson is going to cover data feed management tools. These tools are also known as under a lot of different names: product feed tools, product feed data tools, product feed management tools, data tools. You will find them under many different names. But actually, what they do is pretty similar. They sit in between your e-commerce platform or app and Google Merchant Center. And it allows you to add, change, or delete information from that product feed. So if you've watched the lesson on Google Merchant Center feed rules, you'll see that this is very similar than that. The main difference between that and the tools is that often these tools have a little bit better interface. And that's because in Google Merchant Center, this functionality actually is pretty new. They added it pretty recently, while these data feed management tools, they've been tackling this specific problem for a long time, and that's how they make their money. But actually, between the two, there's not that much of a difference. The biggest difference and the main reason why to use one of these platforms is that they work with multiple feeds. So if you also need a product feed to put into Facebook for Facebook dynamic ads, or you need a shopping feed for Bing, or you want to push your products into Amazon or eBay or other platforms, you can do that from one and the same platform. So they will just collect all of your product information, and then you can customize it to each specific platform. If we take a look at the optimization pyramid, we're going to make edits to the product feed, which is really essential for shopping and really foundational. So actually improving the product feed can change each of those different layers of the pyramid. It changes the structure. It allows us to reorganize it in a better way through, for example, custom labels. It allows us to make changes to the product titles, as you can see, better keywords, more accurate bidding, or we can also do things in the ads like push through the promotion IDs. Who are the providers of these tools? Well, if you look in any app store or do a Google search, you'll see many different providers. I've here selected 4 of them that I like and I've used and I know my clients have been good with. That's Channable, GoDataFeed, DataFeedWatch, and Sales and Orders. So these are all solid platforms. A quick comparison between those different tools. They all have paid plans starting at around $20 to $30 a month, and then going up depending on the amount of products you have or the amount of feeds or platforms that you're using. They also all offer a free trial, allow you to test drive the product. They all have a similar feature set as well. You connect to your store, you can create a product feed, you can map your fields, you can customize it or add rules, and then you compile and publish it to something like Google Merchant Center. In the rest of this class, I'm going to take you through an example on how to use one of these data feed management tools. So here I have a practical challenge. I'm a Belgian online store that uses Euro, but I need my prices in US dollar to advertise in the US. By default, if I use the default Shopify app, actually I have to set that up with a specific country in mind. So if your store uses Euro, you can't select the US. You can get around that by exporting your feed or just duplicating the actual feed that you have and then uploading it in Merchant Center. But then again, you run into the problems that it doesn't get updated automatically. What I want to do is create a duplicate of the feed that I already have and that's targeting to Belgium. And I want to have one that's targeting the US. So by default, the Shopify app can't do that. There might be some other tools or apps or something that I can use, but in this example, I'm going to use one of the data feed management tools, Channable, to actually do this setup. I've just started a new account in Channable, one of those data feed management tools, and I'm going to add a new project, a new web shop. I'm going to hit next. It's taking me through, blah, blah, blah. You're going to see that. Close. Okay, I'm gonna add a new project. My store is apes in space, and my store is apesinspace.co. Okay, so I'll need to do three things. One, import items. Choose one of our plugins available for your platform. Then exports. So import means I'm gonna pull things in from my Shopify store to Channable, and then export means that I'm gonna add it to Google Merchant Center, okay? Go here, set up import. Wish I had kept the actual dialog. So new import connection, okay. Shopify, connect with Shopify, okay. Here. Space, I'll add Shopify, okay. Connect Shopify. And then it actually brings me to the App Store, okay. Let me look for their app. Channel, okay. So you can see here 4.3, pretty good rating, from $29 a month, 14-day free trial. Okay, this is my store. Okay, it's asking me to see all my data. Okay, I'm gonna install the app. Okay, review documents. Okay, close. Review and accept. Okay. So yeah, basically we've linked all of the information now. Legal and compliance is also okay. So if we go back to our projects, we can see here apes in space. So click that. And actually probably all products haven't been imported. So we're gonna do here, set up import. Already had this configured, so let me go to my Shopify store. See what's going on. Apps, channel. Okay, so it's asked me if to add that new connection, add as a connection. Okay, so here actually now I can see here within the import, I can see this one. It's my Shopify store, get it, continue. And it's gonna ask me to map all of the fields. So by default, they pretty much know what they're doing, so I'm just gonna leave it at this. Probably I might go back in the future, might go back to this and make some changes, but for now I think it will be okay. Hit save and import. Okay, so now you can see here the arrows are turning, it's importing my products. And it's already finished, okay? So if we take a look at items, you can see here, looks pretty similar to shopping, to Google Merchant Center or actually our products. And then here. So now we have all of our products in Channable, in the data feed tool. So we're gonna add a new feed in order to send it to Google Merchant Center. So actually here it says country Belgium. So these are all like tools that are available in Belgium, but you actually wanna go to the US, okay? Probably some more tools. Merchant, oh no, it doesn't call it Google Merchant Center, it calls it Google Shopping. So here you have two, Google Product Review or Google Shopping. Standard, Google Shopping, I'm gonna call it US, because maybe I'm gonna add like more feeds to it. Hit continue. Okay, so one of the things that's most often going wrong with those new product feeds is actually mapping it to the correct categories. So what I'm gonna do here is, yeah, so maybe I do here, generate categorization, take here the product type, which is kind of like the category. I'm gonna hit generate. Okay, so here actually what it does is it uses the product type. If this is set to posters, which is data from my store, then I'm gonna set it to category, because it's one category for all the products, so this is pretty easy. So posters. Okay, so this is the category: home and garden, decor, artwork, posters, prints, and visual artwork. So that's it. I'm gonna hit save. Actually, it says here that there's 331 items with categories and 401 items without categories. So actually, probably this value isn't set to all of my products, so I'll need to add another category. Product type is doesn't contain, or yeah, maybe I can do it for all. No. What are we gonna do? Can I do like all products? Yeah, let me try the other one. If it doesn't equal posters, I'm gonna set the exact same category. Right? Artwork. Okay, I'm gonna hit save again, and here it's gonna update, and all of my products now have this category. It's a bit, probably it's not like the cleanest solution. There's bound to be better ways, but yeah, I'm just gonna do it this way. One of the great tools about Channable is, one of the great things that why I like using them is this number. In other tools, sometimes you have to upload your feed and then go check in Google Merchant Center if there's errors or things coming through or something. But this will actually check all of the information and validate all of the information before you even send it through, which is way faster, because otherwise you need to export to Merchant Center, wait there till it's processed, look at the information, come back here, and it just goes a lot quicker. Okay, so you can see here we did the settings, we did the categories, save. Here now we go to the rules. So here, rules. We don't really need to set rules for this this specific example, because we can just push the feed through. But what we're going to do here is actually, let me quickly show you the difference between the feed rules in Google Merchant Center and then the rules we can set in a tool like Channable, just to get an idea of the difference. So here we're going to remove free shipping mention, free shipping mention, okay? Correcting it here. So that's the rule name. That's already, I think, really helpful, is that you can actually give rules to it that you understand. So later, if you go back, you immediately know what it's talking about, instead of having rules tied to the specific items. So here you can choose like a specific products or set it to all products. And what I'm gonna do is in the description. So here you can see that there's a drop down, and these are all the fields that have been imported, except for these two. Category, CPC, this is actually, these are internal fields. So these are fields that Channable made. Remember in the categories that we selected the correct category. So Dave created this one to actually push into the feed when we're done. But here we're gonna take a look at the description. So if the description contains free shipping, then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the description, and you can see here what you can do. So it's set to a value, append a value, combine values, replace values, multiple values, split text, set a maximum length. Sometimes that's necessary. Modify the text, add tracking, change the category, some mat operations here. Yeah, so there's a lot of different things you can do. So in this instance, we're interested in replacing the value. We're gonna look for, let me open up the actual product here. So this one, I'm gonna take this sentence. So search for this sentence and replace it with nothing. And then if I hit save, immediately I will see the impact. So remember, in feed rules, you have to let the test run for a while. Here it does it automatically. So it says this rule impacts 1.5% of all the products, more specifically 11 items out of 732. So okay, this is cool for us. I'm gonna hit finalize. Here, actually, the finalize, it means that we'll have to push a couple of extra items. So if you remember from the product feed setup, this is very similar. We have the mandatory and we have the recommended items. For availability, I'm gonna, okay, brand, I want to have a brand. So yeah. So for some reasons, these things aren't really pushed through. Just hit save and run. Probably will need to make changes. So here's a quick preparation, a quick preview feed where you can check different information. So for example, here you can see the actual number, you can see the data being pushed through, and then you can do a health check. This health check tells me that I need to fix a lot of different things. So in this, probably I'm gonna need to set rules. For example, for the availability, I can set a rule. So let's go back to here to rules. Probably I can also push that through from Shopify, but let me just, if for all products, I'm gonna take, so when certain fields are missing, you need to do something extra in these tools. It depends a bit on the tool. I've used Channable before, so I know what's going on. And actually, all of the categories that we were missing here, or the fields that we were missing here, these are actually because they're not pushed into the shop. So what we're gonna do is in the import, we're gonna hit edit mapping, and let's take a look. Like brand, it's missing because we're not really importing that. Maybe it's something that we forgot to set up when going through the tutorial. So you're gonna have to look at that. Here, for example, I've added custom label 0. I will add here availability. Hope I spelled that right. What was that? What else? Okay, so for now, I'm just gonna hit save. And then when I go back here to the feeds and to the rules, I will actually be able to select here availability, set value to in stock. Okay, so I'm going to do that for all products, and then finalize here, map availability to availability, and here I add the custom label, so I'm going to map that as well. I'm going to hit save and run. Here, let's see if availability, so you can see here, it's been added. If we take a look at the health check, availability should be gone. Okay, so now these are things that we want to add. So these are all things that I will add based on the method that I've just used. Okay, so I've set up values. I think I missed this one. This one, setup import, edit mapping. Okay, yeah, condition, I had it. Okay, so if I've created all of these new fields, basically, I'm gonna hit feeds, and then I'm gonna set up rules based on that health information, right? So what I'm gonna do is values for shipping country are missing, product category are missing. We can fix this easily, but condition is something I will need to add. Okay, so condition, okay. For all products, I will set the condition to new. Hit save, it's gonna impact 100% of the items. Okay. Remember that if you, here I get the error for brand. So remember that we had to do some things, or we had to set it that it was a custom item, or we had to provide brand and then GTIN or MPN. So what we're gonna do here is actually custom items. So here we're gonna say that these are all custom items. And if we had a custom item, remember we had to set a certain field to false, and that was the identifier exists field. So I'm gonna add that one. Identifier exists. Hit save. Come here. No, not here. So for the custom items, I'm gonna take the identifier exists and set this to false. I'm gonna hit save, and that will take care of most of the problems. Gonna impact 100% of the items. Okay, let's take a look at what it looks like right now. So here for brand, I'm gonna set brand, but actually the error is probably going away. Condition, the product category, that's the new one we actually created here. So this is a field created by Channel, category, the ID, and then the country, shipping link. I'm gonna push these through, yeah, let's see what happens. Oh yeah, the identifier exists, I forgot to set that one. As you can see here, identifier exists. I'm gonna set that one. Here, identifier exists. Save and run. Calculate a little bit. Here we should be able to see identifier exists false. So this is something new that was added. If we do our health check, it's a serious in-depth health check. Okay, we see a couple of extra values. Yeah, normally the identifier exists, should take care of this one, but let's see what happens. So when your account has been set up, it's time to activate a product feed. Okay, so now our product feed is done. Copy and paste the following file into Google Shopping. I don't really like the wording on this one, but actually what this does is it gives us this feed and that's available on this specific file. So in Merchant Center, we're gonna add a new file. Product, we're gonna target the United States. It is in English, destination shopping. And here I'm gonna do scheduled fetch. Here it's gonna be go data feed, apes in space, apes, let me just do apes US, continue, and the file name is gonna be this one. And the actual file URL is going to be this one. And then we need to set up an actual time zone. Let me put it to something that I understand. We have our +1 now. So here, Brussels, okay. So I need to set a daily frequency. So daily at 12 or 1, it's okay. I don't have any password or something. Gonna hit continue. And as you see here, actually GDF file, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna fetch the file, and that's gonna pull in all of that information from GoDataFeed. So what's happening now is I linked my Shopify store to Channel. So here I'm grabbing the Google Merchant, with Google Merchant Center, I'm grabbing that Channel feed, okay? So you can see it's still being processed, but when it's done, I will be able to use this information in the US. So when all of the information is in Google Merchant Center and linked with Channel, you're able to set up a new campaign like you did before. And again, like you did before, you will encounter some product feed errors. You can see them here, shipping, tax information, and here you can see the different countries and your different graphs. One thing that I do want to suggest, so you can go in and create all of these things, but if you're using a data feed management tool, doesn't matter if it's Channel or some other platform or another provider, most of them will actually offer free setup of one of those tools, and they also offer really good support. So if you can figure this out and you've got that support from this data feed tool provider, I would suggest to get in touch with them. They really know a lot about these, about all of the different quirks and different problems. So you should be able to get on your way like this. That concludes our lesson about data feed management tools. I hope it was a good intro into the different tools. As you can see, there's a lot to be covered. There's a lot of improvements that you can make, and there's a lot of possibilities that go beyond the scope of Google Shopping here. It's a great way to tap into all of those different channels and leverage it in a way that actually is manageable for you and that you control which information goes where.